It's 7:40. Let's do this. Good evening, Hampton Roads. Good evening, Northeast North Carolina. My name is David Aldrich, Chief Meteorologist of WTKR News 3 Television, and I was just thinking for a moment how rainy and foggy it has been in your neighborhood. You got to let me know what you've been seeing. You're watching right now, First Morning Live. We focus on all things weather, and today, because we get hungry from time to time, we're sponsored by Marco's Pizza, but we're giving away 22 pizzas in this live stream where your name may be attached to it if you've been selected, randomly selected. But we're going to be doing that at the top of the hour at 8 o'clock. It's now 7:40. Want to get to the big story? It's been the rain. It's been the fog. Here's the headlines. Showers will linger not only tonight, but they'll come back on Friday, mainly in North Carolina with more clouds, fog, and cooler air. I couldn't be any more succinct than that. That means even though it might stop tonight for Duck, for Knott's Island, maybe even Rodanthe for a while, it's likely to come back around midday tomorrow, and I'll show you some evidence of that. Last night at this time, I said there was a good chance that it would still be raining while we were on the live stream around 8 o'clock. It's not even 8 o'clock yet, but it's still raining more moderately in Rodanthe, still raining more moderately across parts of the Outer Banks, but the fire hose, the fireman's fire hose seems like it's just coming in from I-95. It's directed right between Ahoskie, Franklin, and Virginia Beach and Norfolk. So we're still getting some rain, and the question is, what are you seeing? Are you getting a break? Are you tired of it? The fog is an issue. Oh, did I mention there's severe weather in Georgia? There's severe weather in Alabama. There appears to be, from some of those little orange polygons just southwest of Memphis, they've got severe weather right now in Arkansas. We're going to look at that maybe a little bit later, but I wanted to show you the amount of rain. Some people are like, can't you just pick one? How much rain are we going to get? Well, some of you maybe got a little more than a tenth. I'm looking at Portsmouth. Some of you in Elizabeth City got 3/4 of an inch. Ahoskie, you had ½ inch, and about a ½ inch in Smithfield, Williamsburg, about a quarter to a third of an inch in Manteo so far. Virginia Beach, 0.41, and officially in Norfolk, 0.57, but our friends in Chesapeake came in at 0.89. If you have, and you're a weather nerd like me, if you have a rain gauge in your backyard, please let me know what you got, because I would love to know how much rain you have received. I got a note from Taj Brown last night. He said, I got spring fever already. You know, this is kind of like spring-like weather. It's very rainy. We talked about the growing season, when we probably want to get in the soil, probably after the first couple days in April. Usually the last couple of days of March, you could say goodbye to the freezes and the frost, maybe in Norfolk, but it takes usually to that second week in April. But maybe spring is on your mind, and if that's the case, that is a comment from Taj last night. I'm going to import some newer comments here momentarily, but feast your eyes on these numbers, right? Currituck only 0.03. Well, Edenton over a ½ inch. Well, that can't be. That's not possible. Yeah, same map, just different town. Everybody had a different experience. Saluda, only 0.05 inches of rain today. Now, if you look at Norfolk, you've heard us say this before. You've heard me say this before. February, historically, based on the last 30 years, you like my telestrations, 30 years, that average is 2.90. And it's interesting because 2.90, less than 3 inches, is historically, over the last 30 years, on average, the driest month of the year. Driest? Oh, that's a bunch of hooey. Yeah, I got 0.57 today, and we had over an inch and a half last Sunday before it changed to snow. So right now, we're at 4.11. And sometimes you can say one thing and it's like, oh, you're confusing me. I don't want to confuse you. Let me just show you the averages. These are 12 30-year averages from January through December. And it doesn't take but a quick inspection to notice that July and August is usually when we see our lion's share of the rain from those little gully washers, those severe thunderstorms that can produce quite a bit with high humidity. And September is nothing to sneeze at. It's usually about almost 5.5. But if that is the case, if 2.9 is the average, I wanted to go back because I know last February when I got here, I was like, man, you had almost 6 inches. You had almost 6 inches of rain last February. That's rain and melted snow. Let me be clear. Let me be clear. Rain and melted snow factors into those numbers. So far, as of 7 o'clock tonight, we're at 4.11. And back on the 2024 year, it was closer to normal. So we had above normal for this year. This is clearly we're adding more to tonight. Nearly 6 inches above normal in 2025. 2024, So I'd say near normal. It's only 400ths above the average, but 2.51 clearly below and 2022 below. So if you do this like for 30 years, you get this very strange number of 2.90. It doesn't mean it has to be that, but I thought it would help to see that in context. It's like a bell curve where you can get some years where it's above, some years below. No different than if you get an A on one test in your class and then you didn't study, you got an F the second test. But you're hoping to get maybe a C because that's the average. You see what I'm saying? That's how it kind of works. And maybe you are tired of the fog. We haven't even talked about that. It's 7:45. How foggy is it? I know there used to be a spaghetti sauce commercial that used to talk about it's in there. The Virginia Beach oceanfront is in there. We'll get to that in a moment. But first, did I tell you we've got 50% off pizza? I tell you what, we're going to give away 100% off pizza at top of the hour in 15 minutes. But I would be remiss. I would be failing you as your First Warning Live announcer here that if you don't use this promo code, and I hope you will, WTKR, our TV call letters, plus the number 50, if you put that in the promo code at checkout, anything you order at marcos.com, we'll chop it in half. The pizza will be full pizza, but the price will be half. And there are 6 locations that participate, 3 in Virginia Beach, 2 in Chesapeake, and 1 in Norfolk. And if you want to win free pizza next Thursday, you have a chance to do that if, in fact, you don't win tonight. But I have all the winners entered into my computer, which I will reveal in about 14 minutes from now. But maybe you want a pizza for a year certificate. We'll be able to give that out, send it out in the mail. You get 1 large, 1 topping. Every month for free. Your name, if it's randomly selected, would go there. You'll get to use March, April, May, all the way through 2026 of December, and then January, February of 2027. I think that's pretty cool because we only have 2 days left. 2 days left of February. Where did the time go? It just flies by. The Pozzoli's half off tonight, right through Saturday. The Pepperoni Magnifico is half off if you want to try that. Anything, the Philly, the White Cheesy, the subs, the Pozzoli's, the pizza bowls, the desserts. Ooh, did I mention the wings? I got wings. Cheesy bread, everything's half off. I'm telling you what, that's where the generosity of Marcos, I think, shines through. Not only are they giving away free pizza tonight to our random winners, but you might want the works, and you get half off. The works, if you want to go all in on a small, medium, or large. All of it applies with the WTKR.com webpage is where you sign up. I mentioned that before to satisfy your appetite, but to use the promo code, use WTKR50. All right, I want to go back to the foggy conditions because I don't know about you, but I showed something like this last week and someone said, there's something wrong with your cameras. I said, no, ma'am, there's not. There's nothing wrong with the camera. It's foggy. And they go, are you sure about that? And then sometimes we'll show this on the air, and the anchors, because they have a lot to work with the teleprompter and the scripts and all that, there's a lot. They're like, well, what am I looking at? Oh, I think it's the ocean front. Sometimes you can barely make it out when it's really foggy. So if you look at our current conditions, our relative humidity is fully saturated, 100%. Dew point's 41. Now, when this number, 41 temperature, dew point 40, when they match, you get 100% relative humidity on that ratio. Even though the winds apparently are blowing at 15 miles an hour nearby, we still have some fog, and it feels like 33. I can tell you this, if it is in fact 41 degrees at Norfolk, and I don't believe it is, last I checked it's 50 now, we have actually moved in Norfolk all but 5 degrees, 4 degrees all day. I'll show you what that looks like here in a moment. But look at our cameras. Chesapeake Bay, it's in there. It's in there somewhere. I know there's a Chesapeake Bay in there somewhere. Norfolk looks foggy. Williamsburg looks mostly cloudy with wet streets, and Kill Devil Hills also showing up here at this time. Checking in with you because I want to say hi to you. I know this is Thursday, one of my favorite days of the week, simply because I love to give away free pizza, right? I don't have to make the pizza, but I can give away free pizza, and that makes it even more fun, more enjoyable. I got a note from Sue. Is Sue on here? Sue, I want to say hi to you. I don't know if you're a new face to me. Maybe you've watched all the time, but this is the first time I get to interact with you. She says, hello from Manteo. Ooh, I got Dare County. I got Roanoke Island. I got a representative of 80 Griffith's old stomping ground, Manteo, North Carolina. It's a beautiful place. Beautiful place. Sue Ann Gaskell-Whitty, glad to have you here. And a kudos to her because she figured out the picture that she supplies Facebook gets promptly positioned on my screen. Isn't that nice? I think that's nice. But anyway, Sue Ann, great to have you. Hope that you stay dry because you have more showers showers in your forecast tomorrow, about a 30% chance around midday on Friday. Just throw that out there. Now, we've been talking about the fogginess. I mean, is there something wrong with your cameras? No, nothing wrong. Nothing whatsoever. It's just foggy. Foggy. Okay, give me some visibility. Tell me, where is it foggy? Doesn't look like it's foggy at Sue Ann's place, because you know what? Manio's got 10. That would be your max on this screen. A 10-mile visibility in Edenton, no problemo, no problem. Elizabeth City, what fog? I don't see any fog. But boy, you come into Hampton, where it was less than a half mile during the 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock broadcast. But it's down to a mile and a half in Newport News, mile and a half in Norfolk, probably a part of Virginia Beach, looks pretty foggy, but at least maybe around Naval Air Station, there may be about 4. Oceana, about 4 miles visibility. It's poor. Suffolk is not much better at 2.5. Wakefield, 2 in Emporia. So you get the picture. Ahoske's got 3 miles. So it can, and Melfa, 2.5 along the eastern shore. So if this is what you have to work with tonight, imagine if you're having to deal with this tomorrow. Oh yes, look at Manio, because it looks like by 11 o'clock some of that fog could roll in the direction of Roanoke Island. Maybe Wanchese could participate in some fog before 11 o'clock tonight. And again, the timestamp is in the upper right-hand corner. When you see 12.4, that's kind of like the max that this product will show. So again, this is just model data, but it would suggest there's still fog in the area at midnight, maybe around the Albemarle, 2.5, still 0.3. Interesting to see this number still reduced at 5 in the morning. Is it any better at 8? No, not at all. So, Sue Ann, if you're watching in Manio and you don't have fog now, you might very well have it in 8 hours or 12 hours from now. 12 hours from now, because it's almost 8 p.m. here on a Thursday night. But it's still, as we go to midday, it looks like it's not much improved. There could still be a marine layer down across the Outer Banks tomorrow, something to be on the lookout for. It is now 7:51. I told you that North Carolina would have an opportunity for more rain tomorrow. And you might be asking yourself, what gives you that impression? Well, just follow follow the blue line. I was going to say the yellow brick road. That's the Wizard of Oz. Follow the blue line, because you'll see another low, ding, 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 right here. And it's going to follow this choo-choo track right into the Outer Banks tomorrow. And I think, that we're going to have some drier air, although it's cooler air, in the 757. This secondary low that's in northern Alabama tonight is helping to initiate some severe storms in those orange polygons. There's even some severe weather going on, one little cell there in Arkansas. But this secondary low that is actually northwest of Atlanta right now will be moving along this track, and I can assure you that the risk for rain, while it might subside briefly tonight for the Outer Banks, it'll come back. The rain in Atlanta will come back. Let me show you what this looks like. The Futurecast at 11 o'clock tonight looks like most of it's out of here, right? Or at least we think it's out of here. Most of it is gone, but the fog will, in fact, linger. But then, 7 a.m., it's more fog, more clouds. Gloomyville. I know, you feel like you're in Sleepy Hollow. I don't even want to get out of bed, Aldrich, at 7 in the morning if it looks like that. I'm with you. But bear with me. By midday, Shazam, it's back to rain in Duck. It's back to rain in the Elizabeth City. The Harbor of Hospitality's got more rain. Where did that come from? It's noon. So, like I said, the energy you see near Atlanta right now, northwest of Atlanta, will come back mainly for North Carolina. Not all the models put it as this big of a green paint bomb. Some models have less green paint, but let's just assume we got at least a 30% chance of rain tomorrow, and most of that should be in the Tar Heel State. Does that make sense? We'll keep moving, because I got to get to the pizza winners here in about 7 minutes. By the way, 5 o'clock tomorrow, my hope was that we were going to see some breaks in the overcast. Because of the clouds, because the winds are light out of the northeast, I have them generally 5 to 10 tomorrow, 5 to 10 out of the east-northeast. We're probably going to see the breaking of the clouds after dark. Boo! I know. Dark is 5:57. Right? When we get to 5:57 tomorrow night, it'll be nighttime, and then all of a sudden the clouds do a disappearing out. You know what I'm saying? It's just off a few hours, but it is 11 o'clock here in this projection, and it would look like we've got partly cloudy skies for many areas in the 757 and parts of North Carolina. Maybe Gatesville, Moyock might be seeing stars by 11 o'clock tomorrow night. Will not be live streaming tomorrow night, but that way you can expect things will improve dramatically but the day will have already ended and we're on our way to the weekend. By the way, it's now 7:54. What does the weekend look like? I've got a marine layer. Ooh, what does that look like? Low clouds. You know what it's like. You get this low cloudiness that kind of oozes over the area. Again, part of it's driven by that wind direction, which is northeast. But I think we're going from a marine layer Saturday morning to more sunshine. Now, it may be sunny the whole time in Franklin. It might be sunny all Saturday morning in Williamsburg and Ahoskie. But at some point, the marine layer has to stop. And it may very well stop just short or shy of Elizabeth City. Areas maybe in Gatesville might be nice and bright, but it could be gloomy, cloudy, at least to start on your Saturday. Does that make sense? Now, if I put this through midday Saturday, some of that marine layer retreats, so Elizabeth City looks better, let's say mid-morning, mid-afternoon, by noontime, midday, and then by 4 or 5 o'clock, most of us are nice and bright, and let's hope that all this gets off the coast. So that's it in a nutshell. I'm kind of curious to know what you are seeing. Great time to say hello from Casey. We got people from all over the country apparently watching who may have ties to Hampton Roads and Northeast North Carolina. I'm guessing Casey Mullins is on here with the beautiful family. Thank you, Casey, for being here. Now, I've never been to Twin Lake, Michigan, not once. In fact, I would be hard-pressed to find it on a map. I would probably have to resort to the Google machine. But I will tell you, Twin Lake, Michigan sounds like a fun place in the summertime. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'd want to be up there in the dead of winter. Just saying, because it's probably really cold, but we're happy that you're here, and maybe you have reasons to be curious about the weather here in the 757, as we call it. Now, our area code is 757. Some of you are like, what is he talking about? I don't even know what that means. Okay, I want to say hey to Bobby Peterson. Is that a Christmas tree? Ah, goodness. Somebody's got an old thumbnail, but I like it. He's already getting ready for Christmas 2026 is probably where that is. And I want to say hi to Sue Ann again. And let's see here. Michael Morris has a question. Oh, I've got a great question from Michael. We're talking about drought. He says, and let's just take a time out here, then we'll get to the pizza in about 4 minutes. He says, hi, David. Including this past Sunday and today, how much water, including the snowfall on Sunday, did or have we gotten to this point and has it made a dent in the drought? Ding, 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 ding. You are exactly right. Michael Morris, congratulations. You were right over the target. We picked up 1.66 on Sunday. That includes the melted snow. I know they reported it as 1.4 inches of snow, but it all got folded into that one magic number of 1.66. Today we're up to 0.57, so we're over 2 inches. We did go from moderate, which is level 2, to level 1 in Norfolk. We actually saw it come down a notch, but the rain that we got tonight will not be reflected in tonight's drought monitor. It came out at 8:30 this morning, but because of the processing time of those supercomputers, the drought monitor has to cut off the data at 8:30 on a Tuesday. It's very weird. So they'll stop taking the data 8:30 on a Tuesday, and then they take another day or so before they publish it at 8:30 Thursday. So 8:30 Tuesday, stop the data. 8:30 on Thursday, they publish it. And I will show you the published number, but it will not include today's rate. But just the fact that we got the 1.66, Michael, on Sunday will have made a dent or made a difference in helping us chip away at the drought. Because, you don't get into a drought overnight, and oftentimes you don't get out of it overnight either. That's what I've learned in 27 years of doing this. So let me go, we'll get to that in a moment, but I'll cover that more likely after the pizza. So stay with me, Michael. I appreciate the question. And then 11 o'clock Saturday, it looks like this. Now, what on earth is happening? We had that low that's going to be coming northwest of Atlanta. This kind of lines up nicely. By 6 o'clock Friday, it looks like this. By 1 o'clock tomorrow, it puts most of the rain along Savannah, Myrtle Beach, Cape Fear, Wrightsville Beach, Wilmington, southeast, and also eastern North Carolina, but very little impact here, right? We've got clouds that will be slow to break because we're also dealing with some fog. But by 11 o'clock Friday night, I'm hoping we'll get more in the way of stars. Now, some of you were wondering about Monday. I'll go ahead and cut to the chase. I've been talking about this as drops and flakes. If you like the color theme here, we know that white, sometimes purple or blue, is snow. And what are we looking at? Chincoteague, maybe a Nancock could see a change over to flakes. Yeah, it looks like maybe midday Monday. This looks like a no big deal to me. This looks like even wimpier than what we had last weekend. So if you're hoping for snow, not only is it going to be location dependent, likely the eastern shore parts of the peninsula, but it's eventually going to go back to rain anyway. So my anticipation is that this is probably, while we will still watch it, it's probably going to be a nothing burger. What I call a no big deal, NBD. You can see by 4 o'clock, now it's still snowing in New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland. Salisbury's getting flakes, and maybe Wallops Island, maybe Chincoteague. But I don't even think accumulation is going to be much of a deal during the middle of the day. Usually it has to be dark, it has to be at night before it starts laying down, and by the time it gets dark, it's gone. It's gone. Wah, wah. By 10 o'clock, there's still probably maybe some sleet, freezing rain in here. Northern Virginia will have reasons to watch it, but I don't want you to get your hopes up if you're a snow fan. This is just drops and flakes, as I call it. A 40% chance we get drops and flakes on Monday. By the way, it's 8 o'clock, and as I look at this shows the best snow might be up in Philly. Up in Philly, in my home state, hometown of Wilmington, Delaware, might also have some hope of getting more drops and flakes before it's all said and done. All right, coming back on camera because you know what time it is. It is now 8 o'clock. It's time to announce the winners. Your name might be on here, so let's go ahead. We're going to give away 10 individual pizzas. Now, if you're not familiar with that, that means some of you who have never been to Marco's, you might actually win some pizza. Now, it's going to be mailed to you. It's not going to be sent to you through osmosis or teleported. It's going to be U.S. Post Office, so it might take a few days, but be patient. It will come. And if your name is selected, or someone you know, maybe a neighbor in your neighborhood, let them know, because I think they would appreciate it. So let me get to the first couple of names here. As I come back on camera, I just want to remind you that we like to do this because we like to give away the individual pizzas. 10 individuals will go out the door, and then I'll announce the big winner of the week that comes in next. So here we go. The first 2 winners look like this. And we'll say, it's Mr. Marino. Not Dan Marino. I believe he played football for the Dolphins. No, this is Braden Marino of Chesapeake. Congratulations, my friend. You have just won a pizza. Now, it's not just any pizza. You're going to get one topping of your choice. I didn't have room to put it on there, but I could squeeze it there, like one topping on there, one topping TOP. But you get a large pizza and one topping in Chesapeake. Congratulations, Mr. Marino. Siobhan Earlycut, Virginia Beach, also a big winner. Want to share that with him. Also, a big winner for pizza there. Love having that also announced here. Now, we have a couple more here in no particular order. Christine Metzger of Virginia Beach, also a winner of a large pizza tonight from Marco's. Marco's will send you the certificate, and you'll need to go to one of the 6 locations we talked about momentarily. Talk about these right over here. These 6 locations. The 3 in Virginia Beach, 2 in Chesapeake, and 1 in Norfolk. It might require a small drive, but either way, I think you'll be impressed. If you've never tried Marco's, it's worth the trip. By the way, we got a couple more on the screen here. I got Christine Metzger. I got Eva Tillett of Chesapeake. Another one from Chesapeake is Irene Bailey. Congratulations, Irene. You also won a free large pizza from Marco's. James Lewis. Way to go. James Lewis, congratulations. Now, some of you are like, I know James. I don't know if you do. I don't know if he's in your neighborhood, if he's in your like bowling league, or if he goes to your church, whatever. Just let him know, hey, James, you just won pizza. Oh, I did? I wasn't watching. Oh, well, maybe if that's the case, just let him know to be looking out for it in the mailbox because you don't want to throw something away. You'll be throwing away good food. That's bad. Don't do that. By the way, we got number 7 and number 8 on the screen, apparently both from Chesapeake. So Jill and Kimberly, congratulations to you. Jill Etween, and then Kimberly Fitzpatrick from Chesapeake. Also winners tonight. Congratulations, you got a free pizza coming your way. And last but not least of the individual pies, number 9 and 10 in no particular order goes to Suffolk. Charlene Bronson has just won a pizza, as well as David Hughes from Hampton. Speaking of Hampton, David Hughes, way to go, Hampton. You're the only Hampton representation tonight, so everybody in Hampton, please gather around David Hughes because he's probably going to share some pizza with you, hopefully very, very soon. I'll need to talk about Hampton coming up. I believe there's a big event going on this weekend. Yeah, I believe it's, let's see, New Edition, Boys to Men, and Tony Braxton, all on the same stage. That's pretty cool at the Hampton Coliseum. So I was thinking about Hampton earlier. It's an 8 o'clock start. So if you're going to that, you could maybe take your pizza. I guess that could be it. He'd have to have this pizza certificate right at the ready. But anyway, David Hughes, congratulations to you. Now it is time, as I always like to point out, it's always time to throw out the big winner, and it usually involves some confetti. All right, the big winner for Marco's Pizza for a year, they'll be getting a certificate, goes to Lakia Hawkins. Oh my goodness, Miss Hawkins, congratulations. I'm seeing that you're in Suffolk, which may require a little bit of a drive, but maybe you put your name in the drawing because you commute to work here. If that's the case, it'll be very easy and convenient. Grab a pizza on your way home. But in Suffolk, our big winner of the week goes to Lakia Hawkins of Suffolk. Want to give a big shout out to her. Congratulations. There are 6 locations that will participate. And even if you didn't win pizza tonight, because these locations will service you, you can also get half off your pizza. So all the winners we just mentioned here for individual pies, and of course, Lakia getting a certificate that looks like this. We're going to have her name that's in the upper left-hand corner when it gets to her mailbox, but she'll get the 1 large, 1 topping pizza. She'll check it off in March. I'm sure it'll be there by early March, and then she'll have 1 for every month of the rest of 2026. You can put a magnet on it on your refrigerator, and you'll be the talk of the neighborhood, because anyone that comes over and sees it on your refrigerator say, "Oh, did you win that? Oh, you lucky person, you." Yeah, I'd say lucky. Lucky and special and blessed that you now have free pizza for the next 12 months. And if you didn't win tonight, don't forget you could get half off your pizza. Not 100%, but half off, just using the promo code WTKR 50. All right, just checking in with you. If you got some comments, would love to say hi. I know that I went on a little bit about the pizza winners, but it is Thursday. I like to do this. And I want to give a congratulations to Kim. Kim noticed that, hey, congratulations, we've got 3 pizza slices there. Winners, they are winners in my book. Always good to see. And Bobby Peterson followed up with some News 3 good weather. Yeah, we're going to get better weather for the weekend, and I think you're going to really love day 7. I don't normally focus on day 7 of a 7-day forecast, but when I said yesterday that we had a good chance to get in the mid to upper 60s, maybe flirting with 70, I'm still on that. I'm still on that kick. I think that's certainly a possibility by the time we get to Thursday, March the 5th, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me show you our lows. Our lows today. This may be related to the fact that it's 8 o'clock now, and we have dropped 9 degrees in the last hour. Now that's remarkable, right? Our low temperature is our current temperature. He's like, that's nuts. I know. Our low was 51 when we were on the 6 o'clock news. Our low was 51, the high was 54. We moved, 3 degrees? Moved 3 degrees all day. Now we just dropped 9 degrees in the last hour. We have a north wind at 13, so a northerly wind is driving some of this down. Our temperatures have dropped, but we're still at 52 in Suffolk, where Lakia Hawkins just won some free pizza for a year. And then we have Edenton at 51. So some of us have dropped exponentially so just in the last 60 minutes, with the north wind at 13 gusting to 22. That's our current temperature. Now, our high temperature got up to 54 today. That occurred at 3:59. So I could show you 3:59. We saw a high of 56 in Hampton. This is one of our warmer numbers. 58. I was expecting 58 today. It looks like only Elizabeth City. Thank you, Elizabeth City. Save face. You save face with Elizabeth City's temperature today. It was only 56 in Manteo, but that's warmer than Norfolk. Virginia Beach was 54. It was 53 in Wallops, and so on. So just like to give you an idea of how warm it got today, even despite the weather. Let's see here. Robert has a note, very complimentary. So happy that you're our new weather guy. I am new. If I'm new to you, today I'm still wet behind the ears. I've been doing this for 27 years, Robert, but if I'm what you're watching for the first time, I'm really glad to be here. And to be fair, my predecessor, Patrick Rocky, had been here 23 years. So in the big scheme of things, having been here only 12 months, that in itself is still somewhat new, right? But I'm very happy that you are here and glad that everyone is watching. I'm going to keep moving because I got some things to cover as far as the extended forecast. Our current temperature, I mentioned in Norfolk, dropped 9 degrees in the last hour. That's according to Norfolk International Airport records. 48 in Virginia Beach, 52 in Chesapeake. But it's 54 right now in Hertford and Elizabeth City and Currituck, both coming in with double nickels at 55 degrees right now. You can clearly see what was purple earlier in the week. When we did our live stream on Monday, it was like purple all the way down in here. Now it's just kind of like a little bit of purple over here. So now we're seeing this cold snap retreat. It's only, he says, 39 in Minneapolis, and Detroit's at 30, while they're at 82 in San Antonio, Texas, and 86 currently in Phoenix. Our high temperature hit 54. I like to show the record highs. Now, oftentimes, some people will just show the 1 year, which is the most recent. I like to show if there's more than 1 year to give you context that we have hit 78 before. Sometimes it helps to know, hey, have we done this before? Is this unusual? It's not that unusual, but 78 was the record high on this date in 77 and back in 1930, quite a long time ago. Got a couple of maps here. I'm just falling asleep. But 54 was the high temperature. Again, I saw 58 in Elizabeth City. So now that my computer is back up and running, I'll take it full screen, make it easier for you to see. And yes, I am driving the boat here. I am the only one driving these graphics, so that helps to know. By the way, we've had 16 days below normal. Yesterday was 59. We had 54 today. But believe it or not, we just have 2 more days in February. And if I'm not mistaken, we have 9 more days. 9 days left. What do you think I'm going to say about that? What's 9 days from now? We're going to say goodbye to EST, Eastern Standard Time. We are going to change the clocks Saturday night, the 7th into the 8th, right? By the time you wake up March 8th, then it's ding dong, we lose an hour. People are like, oh, that's terrible. We lose an hour, not this weekend, the following weekend, and that's usually when people get either mad or upset. They don't like the fact that they have limited amounts of sleep, and I'm right there with them. You know, I don't like having to do that every year, but nobody has an issue, most people don't have an issue, when they get to gain an hour in the fall-autumn season. Friday's planner, I mentioned some rain coming in noontime. These are the drops I expect for North Carolina, so it's area-specific. 50 for a high, and I'll be honest with you, we'll be lucky to crack 50 in most neighborhoods. Most of us will be in the mid to upper 40s. There will be some isolated 50s, kind of like there was an isolated 58 today in Elizabeth City. But if I could say partly cloudy is a possibility, it's on the table. I'm hoping that that'll be the case as we head down the road. All right, so that's where things are. Oh, drought monitor. I think Michael had this question. This is the latest drought monitor. Just so you're familiar, there are 5 levels. There's 1, abnormally dry. 2, which is moderate. That's where Norfolk was last week. 3 is the severe drought. That's orange. Extreme, which is pretty rare, and we're seeing that in parts of Northampton and Bertie County. Anything beyond that is outside of my traditional television viewing area, but I do know Nash and Edgecombe, they're out there. But then there's 5, exceptional drought, and thankfully we're nowhere near level 5. But the fact that we went from level 2 to level 1, Michael Morris, is a good sign. That's where getting some of that rain on Sunday helped. And I said the rain that we've had today, which is 0.57, in fact, I believe, actually we're now more than that. I said 5.7, right? We just added 0.04 at 8 o'clock. So now we're at 0.61. See, I'm doing math on the fly. You love it when I have to do math on a telestrator. We're up to 61 so far. And the rain that was reported at 8 o'clock was 400. So that's how I got to 0.61. But the fact that we dropped from level 2 to level 1 from Sunday's rain, getting this 0.61 or more today may even drop it further, or maybe expands the yellow areas into Virginia Beach, because it appears if I go from town to town, Virginia Beach and Back Bay Ocean Lakes are still moderate. That's level 2. Abnormally dry in Norfolk is the case, but Newport News would be level 1. Gloucester now, level 1. Cape Charles, level 1. They had blizzard conditions, blizzard warnings, as many of you know, back on Sunday, but that's where things stand at the moment. Exmoor is level 2, moderate drought. Again, this is from the interpretation of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. I point this out because they look at more than just rainfall. They're looking at soil moisture. There's a lot of things that they factor into these supercomputers. So the colors that you get really help maybe those who are planning to plant, right? If you're a gardener, you're a landscaper, someone with a green thumb, getting a good start on the growing season helps. Having a drought situation, not so good, especially in red in parts of Northampton County. You're like, I probably could use some more rain in Edenton or Ahoskie, certainly in Bertie County. I'm talking Rich Square and Woodville, probably some of the driest areas in our viewing area right in here. And I know Scott Linek kind of moves outside of our traditional TV market, but it's still, it's all connected. It's all connected. The rain that you get will be beneficial. Now, what about the rest of the country? West Virginia, vastly improved. There are no issues, at least through much of West Virginia. The Eastern Panhandle still having issues, but I'm talking Charleston, Huntington, Parkersburg looks okay. Up toward northeastern New England, they still have some extreme drought in Portland. Augusta, Maine is under the severe. Given the fact they had a blizzard, maybe that water will help them. I've seen some improvement in D.C. and Baltimore. They were severe, level 3, now level 2 for the nation's capital. And Wakefield is abnormally dry. But you go back to North Carolina, and a good part near Charlotte has some extreme level 4 drought conditions developing there. Asheville, level 3 in orange. Raleigh, Fayetteville, Wilmington all could use this rain. And I got news that we're going to get more there in the coming day tomorrow. So we'll have to wait and see. Michael has a follow-up. Michael, thank you to be here. He says, hope we stay at level 1 next week. I hope so. But given the fact that February historically is the driest month, hopefully we'll make up some ground in March, because as I said before, if you watched me yesterday, I showed you this map. I said that the last freeze will typically occur based on the numbers from the Weather Service around St. Patty's Day. And for Naval Air Station at Oceana, like maybe March 29th, if I have that correctly, that's the last freeze. And then we have the last frost on the screen. That usually goes to about March 30th to April 11th. But many of our in inland Virginia, inland North Carolina locations usually have to wait to the first or second week of April before you feel like, okay, I mean, there's always going to be that occasion where you might have to cover, right? Cover up or bring in your potted plants, but you'll be able to breathe a little sigh of relief once you get into mid-April. Some people I've known will wait all the way to Mother's Day. That's, of course, into May. That's a personal preference. And those who do garden quite a bit, you have your own spidey sense. You kind of know when you want to get in the soil, when you don't want to get in the soil. But it is interesting to see North Carolina, a lot of this state, a lot of Tar Heel State still needs some water. Knoxville, I have some followers that still watch me there. Level 1 for Knoxville proper. Athens is still a severe drought. I'm looking at Lenore City, Maryville, and Sevierville. They're under a moderate drought. Morristown and Maynardville under an abnormally dry condition there. South Texas really needs some rain. So does much of Arkansas, and the Rockies west of Denver could use some rain. Florida is still on fire. They're very, very red here. So that's level 4 for much of South Georgia and a good part of the Sunshine State, when you usually expect Florida to get rain all the time with pop-up thunderstorms. All right, got to keep moving. It's 8:16. Tracking some temperatures. Are we going to get cold again? Sometimes that always surprises people when I say it could get cold. Follow the bouncing purple line. Now, follow the white line. It goes up and down. It will reduce and come up and go back down, go up for air, come back down, and the warm air will just not necessarily take hold, at least through the 8th of March. I mean, it's going to get warmer here. You can see some orange colors here. I think it'll definitely be warm to end next week, but is it going to be consistent? I don't think so. There's still going to be some opportunities for some cold air. You look at 11 miles up, and you can see, if we zoom in a little bit tighter, this is today's date. Here's the 26th. I'm going to zoom in a little bit tighter so you can see the contouring here. This is representative of about 30 days from now. So there will be warm air rises, cold air sinks. It's going to go right into Maine. So this will all go do-si-do up in here. But you're going to still have some humid air in the Gulf, and that's going to create more in the way of instability and severe storms. So I think we're going to be off to the races before the 26th of March. That's 30 days from now. By the third week of March, there will be numerous opportunities for severe weather. There will be reasons to have the First Warning Weather app so you can get notifications when and if a severe thunderstorm is headed your way. All right, so we're looking at this. Mentioned the Arctic air. Let's go back to the headlines. Yes, it's foggy. That's the boardwalk of the ocean front. Showers linger tonight. This is for the benefit of those who joined us late. Gray skies, fog. Lows will be in the 30s and 40s for lows. Clouds to some sunshine tomorrow. The sun part will come in late, and it will be primarily, I think, Williamsburg and the peninsulas and maybe back toward Emporia. But highs will struggle to get near 50. And then lastly, this marine layer, I think, could be something to take note of if you're in Manio, if you're in Duck, even if you're in Virginia Beach. But I think ultimately it'll win the day with the sunshine. Highs both Sunday and Saturday should be well into the 50s. I've got 57, 58 for Saturday and Sunday, respectively. Now, there are the numbers, right? These are the numbers I expect. We'll be lucky to hit 50 tomorrow. This will be for the weekend. Then we see a big retreat because of this backdoor cold front coming down from Maine and Baltimore. It's going to reduce our temperature, and this will be falling. A falling temperature, but 56 is normal. I think that's where we're headed on Tuesday. By the time we get into Wednesday, I think we're probably about 58. And right now for Thursday, I have 66 degrees. Is that nice? 66. Oh, that's so nice. I don't know, but like you're already giddy. You're probably, I got to put in some time off for next Thursday. By the way, the precipitation chances, I said 30. This is mainly North Carolina. I think these 10s are probably overstated, but prepare for a dry weekend. And then we'll see drops and flakes. Most of the drops will be most of the viewing area. Few flakes may be found along the eastern shore or parts of the peninsula. Really no big deal. And then Tuesday, just some spotty rain the way I see it. But you can see that watching this cold air, it's like trying to peg Jell-O to the wall. When is the purple going to get down here? Probably not all that fast. We're getting toward the end of winter. But this is what's going to be really revealing is that once we get warm next Thursday, ooh, I like that. Don't you love, when you see these warm colors, they'll be in the 70s in Georgia, South Carolina. We'll be nudging, I think, upper 60s ourselves. So it'll be very, very nice. But if you think it's going to last forever, think again, because these things tend to move. They don't stay static. They're always in flux, always trying to find an equilibrium, and then they move on you. But anyway, have multiple sources for information. First warning weather. Have the app. If your phone loses charge, it's always good to have a backup weather radio like NOAA Weather Radio so you can get notifications even when your phone loses charge. All right, I did mention toward the beginning of this live stream that there was severe weather going on in parts of the country. It's not a California thing. It looks like it's mainly in, it's left Arkansas. It's just south of Memphis. We've got a severe thunderstorm just south at this moment in Mississippi. This is DeSoto, Marshall, Tate till 7:30. 1-inch hail, size of hail, is affecting about 12,700 people are in the path of that particular storm. So if you're in the military, you got family in Mississippi, that's what's going on there. And we go into Alabama. Oh my, we got quite a few severe thunderstorms. Madison, Coleman, Lawrence, Morgan. We got Blount. Considerable damage for the one in Blount County. They've got hail size there, 1.75, so you're getting like closer to golf ball size. Very large hail in some of these storms, and that is what I'm talking about with severe weather going to be on the increase in the next 2 to 4 weeks. Now you can see there's even a severe thunderstorm in Georgia. This is Dawson, Fannin, Gilmer, and Lumpkin till 8:30. Hail size estimated there of 1.5 inches. People affected about 14,600. And the rain just continues on this conveyor belt right into Myrtle Beach, right through Wilmington. And of course, we're going to see this subside probably closer to 11 o'clock tonight, 10 or 11, as you're beginning to see even some remnant showers back here. So even though this is what we've been watching, it's been like a fire hose, right? Just like a fireman. If you're standing on the left or the right of the fireman, you don't get wet. But if you're in the crosshairs and it's aimed directly at you, it feels like it just doesn't stop. It's been pretty moderate across Manteo, Hatteras, Rodanthe, and Ocracoke over the last hour. All right, it is now 8:21. I got to finish up, but I want to show you the European model through the next 10 days. If you want to look at the macro view, this is a great illustration. I'll zoom in as needed, but I find this interesting. If you're looking for rain or snow, let's go into Monday, for example. I believe this is it right here. And so this is what we were looking at momentarily when I showed you that it looked like Delaware had a good chance of getting some snow. This is Monday evening. If you're curious, will it be snowing in Salisbury? Probably. Can it make it to Chincoteague? Maybe. Am I going to expect this to stick? No. Do I expect it'll rain or snow in Dover? Yes. How about D.C. or Baltimore? Yes. And maybe Philadelphia too. So this is all representative of Monday, whereas if you move further south of maybe Cape Charles, it's just a rain event for Norfolk and Virginia Beach. We've been through worse. This is just a hiccup in the big scheme of things. And then it goes into all rain anyway. So it's like, it's not going to last. It's all going to just vanish and go disappearing act. By the time we get to the 8th of Sunday, this is what it kind of looks like here. So that's kind of like that's the last frame there. All right, so I'm going to keep moving because I want to finish up here on time. 42 in Richmond, 54 current temperature in Raleigh, and it's only 37 in the Big Apple right now, and 35 in Pittsburgh. I got some other comments. I want to say hi to you. Who's on here? Ooh, Kim Thompson saying, hey, hope everybody has a great rest of the week. Thank you for being here, and thank you for supporting our Marco's Pizza winners, Kim. I hope you have a great weekend. Stay dry. We'll be watching this very closely with what may happen with a few drops for our friends in the Eastern Shore. But 60 right now in Columbia, 70 in Jackson. If you want some cold air, I guess negative 15 would be the coldest number I can find at Fort Severn, Canada. If you were to go all the way up to James Bay, that's this body of water, you would be around -15 at the moment. That is a current temperature. Thankfully, that's not headed here. Our dew points are around 48 in Virginia Beach, 51 in Hatteras, and 36 in Washington, D.C. The highway that we call the cold air will kind of pour over James Bay, work its way down toward Maine, and we'll see these warm-ups from Texas. That's where you want to focus the warmth, because eventually it'll get into Tennessee and work its way toward Virginia and North Carolina over time. So that takes you through the 8th of March. The supercomputers, and you know they can't be misleading, just kidding, but hey, above normal, there's my support that we're going to get warm just in time for that 6 to 10 day outlook where temperatures get really toasty. Our temperature in Saxis tomorrow, about 50. 50 for Saxis, 49 for Bloxham, 46 for Chincoteague, Onancock, and Exmoor upper 40s, about 47 for Cape Charles. Looking for a high temperature, 46 for Nags Head. Got rain showers here. It might be closer to 80% for you in Manteo, but when you look at the 757 as a whole, I left it at a 30% chance because, again, not everybody's going to get in on the action if you're in Williamsburg or Gloucester, but there will be a higher probability of getting rain if you're in Ocracoke or Hatteras tomorrow. Temperatures there about 50 and 51. I did mention the severe weather just a moment ago, and anytime you see yellow on this legend would mean scattered severe storms, and there apparently have been removing now. They have removed this severe level 2. They've dropped it, and now just a level 1. It was affecting Greenville and Columbus. Now they've since removed it to between now and 7 a.m. tomorrow, but Tupelo and Birmingham, all these areas, and Monroe, Louisiana, have the potential, in Huntsville, for an isolated severe storm tonight through 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. That's how that is to be read. Nothing to see on Friday, nothing to see on Saturday in terms of severe weather. So I'll just kind of go right through this period. As we mentioned, tomorrow morning, you'll expect clouds and fog. By midday, you'll get more rain from Elizabeth City to Duck, likely Roanoke Island, Wanchese, and Manteo, all the way down toward Rodanthe. Then by 5 o'clock, it should certainly be gone, and the clouds should break thereafter. And as far as the front, we talked about it going really across parts of the eastern North Carolina, which again is dependent on where we're going to see all the interesting weather. All right, so we've talked about the rain snow forecast. We won't go through that much more, but let me get to your forecast. Now tomorrow, some fog and clouds, temperatures generally in the mid to upper 30s near the coast. Many of you will be in the low to mid 40s inland. So I'm looking at Franklin, Suffolk, Eatonton, generally low to mid 40s. There'll be some upper 30s. We already dropped to 41 in Norfolk in the last hour because of that wind. That's why I left us about 38 here, 38 Melfa, and 38 for Wachapreague, Corolla, about 41. Here's your first warning forecast for Friday. We're looking about 50 for Southside, only about 46 for the peninsulas, and then 51 with rain possibilities in North Carolina. 47 for Portsmouth. Those are my expected highs. About 44 for Virginia Beach. I think we've got a good chance to make it to 50 for Gatesville and Murfreesboro. 51 Cortland, 50 for Hertford. And here's your first warning. WTKR News 3 7-day forecast, 58, 57 for Saturday and Sunday. Drops and flakes. You'll notice there's a down arrow in here because our temperatures will not be at 44 in the afternoon. That's a morning temperature, and then just gets colder and colder. And then Tuesday, we're back up to 56, but this is the winter pizza dinner. Thursday, 10% chance of rain, but much warmer after a few showers coming in on Wednesday. Is that cool? I think that looks cool to me. I'll take a 66-degree day next Thursday. Now's the time to get your paid time off, your vacation request. I don't want you to feign an illness. That wouldn't be good. But hey, maybe you can make plans of being off next Thursday and Friday. I think you'll like it if you're a spring weather fan. If you're on Team Spring, next Thursday is your day. Foggy Elizabeth River. This is from today. From Naval Medical Center in Portsmouth, Dawn Jackson Davenport. Thank you for sharing this wonderful picture with us. And you say, what's so wonderful about it? It's foggy. I know, Charles captured it too, a foggy marine terminal from Newport News. But I ended up on a happier shot. This is from Jack Carpenter in our Facebook group, WTKR Photographers. Tug and Jarrett on the James River from Wednesday evening. So I just thought that was really slick, very cool, and always hopefully to lift your mood. But the rain we're still tracking is moving through the area. It's not going to rain all night long, but should start to taper down and taper off before 10 or 11 o'clock tonight. So 50 tomorrow, 57 Saturday. Have a great weekend, 58 degrees on Sunday. Just checking in with you if you got other comments. Thank you for all being here. So Michael and Bobby and Robert and Kim, and Casey, we got some new names here, and Sue Ann Woody. Thank you very much for that. Nice to be able to see that. I got people from Roanoke Island. Love it. So great to have you here, Sue Ann, and hope everybody has a great weekend as well. Just remember, it doesn't matter if the weather is sunny or serious. Today was rainy and icky, but you know what? We can't change today because it's over. And I know we can't change tomorrow. I've tried. It doesn't work. But I will tell you, we can change tomorrow. We can make our neighborhood a better place. I think we can. All it takes is a little bit of concerted effort. But make the best of it, and just know that every day is a gift. Every day is a gift. Make the best of it in your neighborhood. We'll see you next week. Take care.